the point that you were?
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Afternoon, welcome aboard. Yes, we are ready to rock. We are ready to roll from the beautiful dealership that is Toyota of Hollywood. Herbie Lopez in the house. All the folks are out there ready to go, ready to make it happen. Lori Rodriguez just walking by here. There you go. She's ready to take care of you as always here at Toyota of Hollywood. So come on out and join us. We'll be out here for a couple of hours having some fun. You doing all right there, Bill? You doing good?
Yeah, man, we're doing good.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. I see Josh and Alexa in first. Julius 305. Yep, the Prez is in. GP Trap. Omar Lopez. Super V. Jospina 13. There we go. I like it. Appreciate you all already chiming in here on the show and checking it out as we'll have some fun here on the show and talk about all kinds of stuff.
Do you see how big this tree is? Do you see that the star is literally touching the roof?
Yeah, it runs right into the roof. That's actually what's holding it up.
You know what? I was just going to say it stabilizes the tree.
That's it.
The star is stuck to the tile up top.
Tree. That's a big-ass tree, dude.
Is not going to move.
That is a big-ass tree. And so welcome aboard, folks, as we got some stuff to talk about today here on the show. We get ready for a little football tonight with the Chargers and the Raiders. The Raiders, I guess we're rooting for the Chargers, right? I guess, because the Raiders are right behind the Dolphins. And although I think the Raiders are going to be on the outside looking in for the Dolphins, it might be between 10 and 11 wins. If you win all three, you're definitely in, guaranteed, and you're ahead of Baltimore and everything.
We control our own destiny.
Yeah, if you win 2 of 3, it'll be a little tight, but you probably will get – I think you'll get in with the 10 wins when it's all said and done. But if you want to lock yourself in and everything, you definitely win the next 3, and you're ahead of Baltimore, which is the team that you're battling with right now. Miami has the better AFC record, and all the teams left on the schedule are AFC teams. So you'll be able to build up that AFC record. And I think it's the same thing also for Baltimore. The teams that are left are also AFC, except they have the easiest record left of all the playoff teams. So they've got an easier road than Miami. Obviously, Miami got their toughest game out of the way of the last 4, which is Kansas City this past week, and they played their asses off. The good thing is that on the injury side, they're getting some guys back. They got Kyle Van Noy back. They got Landon Roberts back in practice. Devontae Parker was able to practice. So was Jakeem Grant on a limited basis. Who was it? Who else out there? Oh, they've got Matt Breida back from COVID. So we're still waiting Myles Gaskin and Jamal Perry from the COVID list. I mean, I would imagine that you're going to hear the Gaskin thing in the next day or two. By tomorrow or Saturday, I would imagine Gaskin is going to be activated, and he should be through the COVID, but you never know. It might linger with some people a little longer than it lingers with others. That's the unknown here. That's why the young man from Florida, Keontae Johnson, I mean, he collapsed on the court, and he was in an induced coma. Now he's out of the coma, and he's talking with his parents and everybody now, and he's obviously more alert now that they brought him out of the coma. But it shows you how bad that maybe that was he had COVID, and a lot of people are speculating that he had myocarditis and he had the enlarged heart, and then that's what contributed to him obviously fainting on the court and collapsing, which was a really scary scene for that to happen, man.
Whenever you hear induced coma, that's not good.
No,
they
of course
do
not.
that to put your body at a state of rest, meaning there's some trauma going on with
Right.
you. Your body's got to relax.
Right.
That's whenever they do that, that's not a good sign, man.
No, of course not. It never is. So that's that's the case there. But the good thing is, Miami is getting some guys back. Let's hope they can get the other guys back from COVID. And I got to tell you, let's step away from life itself, and let's just step into our little silly world of sports, right? Because we're sports fanatics. The people, all of you watching right now or downloading our podcast, you're sports fanatics, because that's why you're listening and watching this, because you're a sports fanatic. So in our world as sports fanatics, we have been very fortunate that one thing hasn't happened in our world, and that's death. And the second that an athlete, especially a prominent athlete, dies because of COVID, that will have a ripple effect like nothing else in sports, because all of a sudden the athlete has always felt invincible, right? And they are feeling it right now, because throughout this whole COVID thing, they all pretty much feel like, no big deal, I'm in incredible shape, I'll get it, I'll pass it, I'll go on, I'll move on, I'm not running from this. And that's kind of how athletes are kind of viewing this thing, that they feel like, that even if I get it, it won't be a big deal, which we really don't know, because there are people that are younger and they're dying from this too. Not as common. We all know it affects the people that are older more than anything else, and obviously it affects people that have, pre-existing conditions. Those are the people that are susceptible to it more than anybody else outside of being old. But we're lucky that a prominent player has not passed away due to COVID. Because if that happens, this escape that we've had, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember the first couple of months of this COVID thing and everything was canceled and we didn't have anything. I mean, the challenge for me to do a radio show every day was just a mission to do that every day, because there was literally no sports going on. Yet somehow or another, I was talking 3-4 hours of...
You did a hell of a job, by the way.
Yeah, sports talk with no sports.
For like 3 months almost.
Yeah, I just, sports talk with no sports is really weird.
We got excited about baseball.
Yeah, it's a Korean baseball. God, they were even playing that.
No,
but,
we were making fun of that. When we got MLB, I mean,
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But if we would have lost an athlete, it would have sent some ripple effects all over sports, that tons of athletes would have backed away, especially all of these athletes that have guaranteed salaries. It's like, well, why am I going to kill myself? I'll just wait till this pandemic passes and my contract's in place. I'll then keep making money. But if I go out there and risk my life, then my contract's up once I'm dead. You know what I mean? So we were very lucky that we didn't have a serious tragedy with a famous athlete, because that might have stopped everything that's gone on. Because notice how sports is the one thing that has powered through all of this. Restaurants have had a really rough time right now overall. And that's because a lot of them have had to close, and then they're open for a short time, and then they're sent back to close again, and
limitations on seating.
Financially, they must be so set back now at this point that it probably becomes almost impossible to actually have a business. But for sports, they've kind of been able to figure out a way to keep going and pick up positives all along the way, but yet somehow keep their sports alive. Now, the ones that were able to bubble up, that created a hell of an advantage for them. That was a really smart way of doing things. But we're pretty lucky on that side, man. I got to say. Let's see. How am I doing, Big O? I am doing good. Josh says, my entertainment has arrived. Thank you for the kind words. To call me entertainment, that's a stretch, but we'll take it.
Oh, man, you are. I mean, don't pat yourself on the back too hard, but yeah, you are entertaining, bro.
I don't know about that, but Ray says, howdy, everybody, and a special hello to the hardest working man in radio, hands down. Big O, thank you very much, Ray. Too kind. Antonio is in. Thank you, Antonio. Everything is great.
Kind of staying in the same subject, let me ask you, with basketball not being in the bubble, and them, I mean, the season starts Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday. What do you think are the percentages of us actually seeing like we did in the bubble? The bubble was hugely
Not
successful.
even close.
It ain't going to happen, right?
Not even close. Well, look at all the other sports.
Right? They've all taken a hit.
Even baseball, that there's no contact in baseball.
No.
There's
the ball makes contact with people.
There's no crying in baseball, and there's no contact in baseball. So, and they had, I mean, the Marlins were ravaged. These guys.
St. Louis, yeah, remember, St. Louis had played like 8 games. Everybody else was like in 20-something.
Right, and so, yeah,
So you think basketball, it's going to fumble, bumble, stumble through.
So you had one guy that tried to sneak in a hoe. You had another guy that actually picked up a hoe inside the bubble. And you had another guy that the second he got out, the first place he went to was hoe and wings. So
the track record tells you.
With a bubble. So without a bubble, they're going to be banging IG models left and right. They're going to be going out. And again, it goes back to my other conversation I just had. The athletes have the invincible nature about them. No one's died. So by nobody dying, that means this isn't their kryptonite, is the way they look at it. Okay? A guy like me with 5 stents in my heart, I look at the Rona and I say, it might be my kryptonite. It might end up killing me. But the athlete, because no athlete has died, the athlete says, oh, please, get out of here. It's nothing. It's a little, it's a flu-like thing for me, and I'll pass it, and I'll keep going. But meanwhile, I'm not gonna pass up this IG model, even if she has COVID. You know, that's
until it touches your realm, man, you don't respect it.
Right. And I think that's been the fortunate part for us as sports fans.
Big time.
And then that's been the, let's call it false bravado that the players have now because it hasn't killed an athlete. Okay? And that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. So that's why I mentioned that. But yeah, I just think that this is going to be, you know, just a part. It's part of our world. It's the way things are right now. It's just what we got to live with. It's what players are living with. It's what they're dealing with, and most of them are overcoming it too. That's the other thing. You're not hearing about a lot of players going through hell. I think if we would, then it probably would affect things a lot more. Rosendo says, good afternoon, Big O and Bill. Hope everybody is safe and in good spirits during the Christmas holiday season. Thank you. Antonio says, Gordon Hayward is a curse, Big O, with injury. Yes, he is. He is a sack of injuries. Jospina 13 says, great signing day for our Canes. Well, you know, let me get a little bit into that on that one. Is it really a great signing day? I mean, if you don't have a great coach, I don't know how any signing day becomes great. If you don't have the coach that can develop the players, that can teach them how to win, that can be a difference maker. And unfortunately, Manny Diaz has not proven to be that. So I understand Jake Garcia is an impactful player, and they say all of that, and he's the highest recruit since Kyle Wright at quarterback. Well, how did that Kyle Wright thing work out? You know what I mean? I talked about this on my show. Frank Gore, Greg Olson, and Devin Hester all underachieved at the University of Miami, and all will be going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. How'd that Northwestern class work out? Huh? That Northwestern class was supposed to change the face of the program, and that Northwestern class was a bomb, was terrible, okay? Outside of Sean Spence, there wasn't a player that was worth it on that whole group. You know, Trajan Bandy was supposed to be a hell of a player. Wasn't he like 4 stars? Didn't do anything. Tate Martell transfers. All the hype, the guy couldn't throw for 10 feet. It's just, I can just go on and talk about Willie Williams and talk about Chantrell Henderson, and I can talk about all these guys that were coming in with all this hype the last 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. Man, I've lived the Magic Bentons of the world. You know, I've lived through all of this. When you're 54, you've seen a lot of this crap. And I don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe anymore. To me, recruiting classes don't mean anything at all. Because Warren Sapp came in as a tight end and left as an all-world defensive tackle. And Santana Moss was running track when they tapped him on the shoulder and said, hey, do you happen to play football? Yeah. And there you go. You know what I mean? Ed Reed was like a 2-star guy. And so if you're not a great coach that knows how to turn a 2-star guy into a 4-star player or a 3-star guy into a 5-star player, and if you're not the guy that knows how to get the 5-star player and make him all-world, okay, then you're not the guy. And so it doesn't matter what recruiting class it is. You can recruit the number 1 player in the country in Willie Williams, and he'll be busy stealing car stereos. None of it matters. And I can talk about guys that you got over the last couple of years, and I can talk about a guy you got 10 years ago and 15 years ago and 25 years ago. And I can go 35 and 40 years ago when Jeff George said, oh, no, I'm not competing with Vinny Testaverde and Craig Erickson. I'm out of here. I'll go to Purdue. Or no, Illinois, I'm sorry. Illinois. I mean, it's just, you just.
You have too many years of seeing more failure than actual follow through. And hey, the number 4 was a
because
star.
More often than not,
Right.
all these highly touted recruits fail.
Don't pan out.
Fail.
Yep.
Okay? Florida State, Miami, they were all battling for Dan Kendra. He ends up going to Florida State, all-world quarterback. He ends up a fullback.
Pretty good one, too. Not bad. For college,
But from quarterback, you're recruiting the guy to, like, lead your entire program, and he ends up as a fullback. I mean, these are things that have been going on forever, bro. And if you think you know what a kid's going to do at the next level from high school to college, you're so out of tune and you're so wrong. But yet, every year that we have this recruiting stuff, every year we get grown-ass men who are excited about children coming to their program. Grown-ass men that know nothing about the kid that is coming in. And yet they think the kid is great and he's the second coming because they saw 2 highlights on the computer. Just the weirdest thing, man. So to me, when you tell me, oh, this signing day, all that, I've watched so many suckers get burned in the past. I am not one of those guys that's going to fall for it. I just can't. Leon Fresco, thank you, sir, giving us a little love on the super chat. Thank you, Leon. Says Isaiah Ford, 100-yard game, put 8 in the box on defense. Leon, I would go with, what's it called? God, now I'm forgetting his, Lynn Bowden Jr. would be my guy. I'd pick him for 100 yards over Isaiah Ford. That if I'm a betting man, if you tell me, okay, in Vegas, you got to put it down, and the odds are the same between Isaiah Ford and what's his name again? What did I say? Bowden, Lynn Bowden Jr. I'm going Bowden. I think he has the better opportunity at getting 100 yards when it's all said and done.
He's been in the mix more recent than Mr. Ford.
Yeah, and plus he's a little bit more craftier than Ford. Actually, you could use him in all different ways. Alex Diaz says, Big O, good afternoon. How sweet would it be that we can officially knock out the Patriots this Sunday with a win? Well, you know, the beauty of what's happening with the Miami Dolphins, and, you know, we've been talking about how they have evolved. Last year, they pretty much started the beginning of the end of the Patriot dynasty. And they went and handed them a loss in Week 17, forcing them out of the bye week and then into the wild card round, which obviously was not good for them because they were knocked out and Brady left. So that was over. I don't know if Brady leaves if they have a bye week, they get a deeper run, they go to the Super Bowl. I don't know. But the bottom line is you lost Brady. So now Brady's in Tampa, and you're here in New England trying to revamp and rebuild the team again, and now you're struggling to get to 500. So if you now beat them and eliminate them from the playoffs, which is what would happen if you beat New England this week, New England is done mathematically, I'm sure. You now have ended their dynasty last year and pretty much put a nail in their coffin in this season too. So now you become the thorn in the side that they've been for so many years to everybody in this division. So that would be an amazing accomplishment for the Miami Dolphins if they could pull something off like that. That would be really, really cool if they can do that. But it shows you the evolution of what's happening in this division now, where Chris Greer and company have been really smart in how they reloaded this team. They loaded it with draft picks. They're hitting on a lot of draft picks. They're developing a real team and a culture that now rivals what they're doing in New England. I'm just talking about the culture part of it now, not the results, because nobody can match New England's results. They got 6 titles in the last whatever it's been, 18 years, 20 years, whatever the hell it's been.
01 was the first, so 19.
So 19, yeah. There you go. So that you can't argue with those results. I mean, it is what it is. But you gotta love the evolution of all of this, that you can see the power changing in this division. And Buffalo's first, Miami's there, and the Patriots have now gone from the top dog in the division to now the third dog in the division, because they're not better than Miami right now, and they're certainly not better than the Bills. So it's pretty awesome to watch that evolution and that change between these two. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line, 786-322-1105. Herman says, hello, fam. Love the show. Thank you, Bill and Big O. New York City Sports says, Big O, are you officially done with Mad Dog Sirius? No, sir. My contract ends in 13 days. You know, but I'm not done with them. Tick. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm re-signing. I I mean, I don't have time. You know what I mean? I know New York City sports, you're always asking me about Sirius, but
I was going to say, you're going to find a way to squeeze an 8th day into the week
I
and
can't, man.
do Sirius. Like,
I can't even do this every day anymore. It's like it's been tough. You know what I mean? I've been worn out. It's just tough, man. It's
well,
really, really
you're
tough.
not just doing your show, man. You're running
Yes.
the station.
Yeah.
It's a different beast than just doing your increment of your 3-hour show right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
You
just
know?
it's a mission, man. It's just it's too much, you know. And I love everything at Sirius. I love the people over at Sirius. They've been really good to me. But you know,
And usually this would be the time, the holidays, that you would be picking up, if I'm not mistaken,
yes, a lot of
extra time,
shifts,
right?
A lot of shifts. Yes.
Yeah.
I would be doing a lot of shifts. Yeah, but I don't have the time. You know what I mean? I just don't. So unfortunately, New York City sports, I don't know when it is the next time I ever do Sirius again. It will be a while because my life needs to kind of settle down. Remember, I'm still in the stages with the new station of building it. So I'm far from any moment where I can actually take a step back and chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little tougher for me. Let's see. Ian says, "What's up, Big O? Double dipping? Yes, we are. Greatest person, most hardest working man is. I love it. God bless, Big O. Merry Christmas, you and your family. Very nice, Alex. That's very nice. I don't deserve that. I'm just a regular dude, man. Just grinding every single day of my life. That's all. Big O, what's your opinion on Harden? Personally, I do not think he would fit our culture. I've talked about that here. I don't want anything to do with Harden. If you've heard the latest, there's a story out where it talks about how he's been in control in Houston now for several years, whether it's to trade Westbrook away or trade CP3 or fire Kevin McHale. There were stories from last year. He's constantly late for every meeting and everything. And so they Westbrook would stand up and say, "Let's go, start the meeting already." And D'Antoni would tell him, "We can't start the meeting because if we start the meeting, then James shows up 10 minutes in, 20 minutes in, and we have to then start all over again. So we've got to just do it one time with everybody there." And so they kind of have tolerated. If they had a couple days off, they expected James to take off to Vegas for a couple days and party and come back. And the word in the article was, we didn't care because when Harden would come back, he'd score 50 points. So he would perform, even though he was partying. I don't know if that's going to continue. All I can tell you is that a person like that does not change from night to day because he's joining the Miami Heat. And you look at what Shaq did. Shaq was weighing 400 pounds, had a toe problem, was having trouble with Phil Jackson. So they traded him to Miami. Shaq lost, 200 pounds, got focused, played really well that first year. And then the second year played well also, not as good as the first year, not as hungry as the first year. But the second year, he played well, but he wasn't the most important center in the finals. It was Alonzo Mourning. And more importantly, he started, but slowly but surely that year, to get back to some of his old habits. And by the third year rolled around, he was completely in his old habits, and they had to get rid of him. He was ripping the trainer. He was ripping Chris Quinn, all of that stuff. It's like, oh, you got me playing with Chris Quinn. And he really dissed Chris Quinn, which was so uncool of Shaq to do that. And Anthony Mason. Anthony Mason, they traded for him when Zoe went down with the kidney ailment. He leads the team to 50 wins. Zoe is out all year with the kidney ailment. He gets the transplant. He then starts to get in shape. He's in shape to come back. Riley inserts him into the starting lineup the second he came back, which was a mistake by Riley. He should have eased him in. But by starting him and then limiting what Mason was doing, you ended up losing Mason mentally because Mason was completely in because he was involved and was the main cog in why they were succeeding. So Riley ends up having to appease the superstar, but piss off the all-star. And piss off the all-star to the point that you had to get rid of him after. Because you lost him. And my point is, Mason was one of those guys that was difficult to get along with. But yet, he conformed for a little while he was getting what he wanted. The second he didn't get what he wanted, he went back to being Anthony Mason. Shaquille O'Neal went back to being Shaquille O'Neal, fat ass and lazy. Okay? And that's why he bounced around to several teams after Miami. Phoenix and the Cavs and the Celtics and just all kinds of places. So, to me, the Harden thing, is he going to change his habits? I mean, there's a guy who loves strip clubs. We're in South Florida, bro. Wow. I mean, I know the women at Tootsie's are right now holding, they're probably all going to church praying that James Harden comes in and really lifts their economy. Okay? So I get the strippers are, all in. But if you're the Heat, so he's going to stop partying. He's going to stop complaining. He's going to stop coming in late. He's going to stop demanding. I mean, LeBron wanted Spo fired, and Riley was like, no, dude, we don't do that here. I say who stays and who goes, not you. And so is Harden going to accept all of that? Or will he try to accept it just for a little while and then demand to go do something else? I would imagine that the conversation would be had here, and I would imagine that Riley will look at James and say, yeah, that doesn't fly here. Okay? You will do what we say, what we need you to do. If you can't do that, then you can't be here. I think if the Heat is smart, and normally they are, I think they'll understand that James Harden doesn't fit what they do. While his points and his scoring are intoxicating and obviously can help any team, because the guy can produce, at the same time, I just don't think culturally he is ever going to fit what they need here in Miami. So that's my answer on James Harden, and I'm sticking to it. If you had one corner to pick from the options are Madison, Surtain, Howard, who would you go with? I'm going to go Madison. I'm going to go Surtain, Howard, Madison. Okay? You know why I go Surtain? Because Surtain can play outside and inside. The other two guys, I don't even know if they can play inside. Let's see. James Roman says, greetings, everybody. Joshua Walsh says, what do you think of the idea of drafting Kyle Pitts and using him with Mike Gesicki? Of course, they need to get a wide receiver in the second round of free agency if they did that. Well, they got to get a wide receiver and a running back. Those are more priorities right now, Joshua. Another tight end isn't a priority. I think that you've got to get wide receiver, running back, offensive line, free safety, defensive line too, like a defensive end. So yeah, they have a lot of needs, man. It's easy to talk about the Dolphins' needs because they're still so young. Rosendo says, by the way, Big O, I heard for a moment on Onside while my kids were taking the exam, I have to admit, Lou Gossett deserved that Oscar. Oh, yeah. We're talking about an officer and a gentleman. Yes. So good. So good. Mayonnaise.
Best supporting actor.
Yes. Yeah. Steve D'Onofrio says, the Gase effect. Players are playing bad for him, change organizations, and become Pro Bowlers. Coaching matters. No way the Finns are 8-5 if Gase was a coach. Oh, yeah, no. You crazy? Definitely. Somebody's saying, control your dog, Bill.
That's not my dog.
Josh Ritter says, Gesicki practiced today. He must be a warlock. No, I don't think he practiced. Did he? Because they were in the bubble today. So I don't know if they didn't have access to the bubble. Unless the team told them that he practiced. And now remember, I don't even know what to believe now from the Dolphins.
Flores.
Yeah.
Tua misdirection.
All right, it says Gesicki returned to practice here. It says Gesicki's shoulder injury may not be as seriously as originally feared. Dolphins announced Wednesday Gesicki practiced on a limited basis in the day in the team's bubble, meaning the workout was closed to the media because of the NFL. Gesicki was injured with 10 minutes left. I'm not believing any of this now. I'm sorry.
This is another misdirection.
Flo, sorry, dude. You started this. You lied, and I believe you're lying now. I had a second-degree AC joint sprain, dude. I just know about these kind of things now because I've lived it. The way they were carrying it, there's no way he plays this week. No, I'm not believing that. I don't believe it. You know what they call practice? He stood out there, and he ran a sprint or two, and with the harness on. I don't believe
he ran. You don't think he was stationary on the bike? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Even
I was going to
than
say the jarring up and down.
Yeah.
That man, we've both been there.
Yeah.
Man, your eyes start you have a hard time breathing. Stationary.
Yeah.
Go up and down.
No, I'm no way. I'm not believing anything from Flo now. No. He's trying to go the other way now. Let's see, what else do we have here? Darren Lee says, can Miami beat Buffalo? Yeah, they can. It's not going to be easy. It'll be a mission. But, yeah, they can. Of course they can. It's not a gimme that they'll lose. Miami's got a shot with that defense. They got a shot. James is asking, totally with you, coaching matters. Look at Coastal Carolina's doing with no-name recruits. Exactly. Why is everybody saying our run defense is so bad? We haven't allowed 100 yards rushing the past 3 games. Well, you mean a 100-yard rusher, right? Didn't they allow 200 yards rushing the other day? I want to say.
If I was a betting man, I would think it's a 100-yard rusher.
Yeah, I think that's what he means.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's what he means because I think the Dolphins, I want to say, let me go to week 13 because it might have been week 13 where they did it. Let's see, where are we at here? Oh, no, it's definitely not the Bengals. Okay, week 12. Who was it? No, I don't think the Jets either. No, you might be right the last 3 weeks because Frank Gore had 74 yards on 18 carries. So he might be right that they haven't allowed in the last 3 weeks that. He might be right on that. I think he's got that one right. But I know that there was a game where they allowed a ton of yards rushing. Yeah, there it goes. It was in the Denver game where they allowed 189 yards rushing. That Gordon had 84 and Lindsey had 82. So yeah, I mean you can get technical, but here's the thing. Here's where that stat doesn't really, it's kind of a misleading stat. I'll tell you why. One, the Jets aren't really that kind of team that's going to be rushing for a ton of yards. So the fact that they limited the Jets, it's not impressive. Cincinnati is a terrible team without a really good quarterback. So limiting them is not impressive either. The Kansas City game, Hilaire had a good game, didn't he? I'm pretty sure of that. Hilaire, Clyde Edwards. Oh no, only 16 for 32 actually. So he did all right. So they did all right there. They did allow 94 yards on 24 carries total. But he's right. Hilaire would have been the only one out of the last 3 weeks that, you could have been hurt. The other 2 teams aren't that. So that's why it's kind of deceiving. You know what I mean? But normally the run defense hasn't been great for Miami. They're one of the worst. Let's see, what else do we have here? Omar says, really need Gesicki back, gets more consistent separation than others, been building that chemistry with Tua. Yep, I just don't think you'll see him for a couple weeks, if that. Regarding what Harden, a lot of people don't seem to realize if we trade for him, He has 2 years left on his contract. Are we going to pay him 45 to 50 a year when he's 33 for 4.5 years? That's nuts. I agree.
His no defense involved in his game, I would think, automatically eliminates him from being on our team. You got to play defense, man.
Yeah. Jesse Gutierrez asking me, what's your take on Dolphins rookie offensive line draft picks? I like what they've done so far. They've got to grow into the positions. They got to become better road graders when it's all said and done, but their pass protection has been decent. It's a good start for them as rookies. Good start. And they don't have a lot of young, older guys that they can lean on. You know what I'm saying? While Ted Karras is a veteran, he's not, we're not talking about a all-pro center. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have any of those kind of guys around that can help them a little bit too. So I think they've done a really nice job. Let's see, what else do we have here? Well, I do think Miami can beat the Raiders, but can they beat the Bills? Darren, they have a shot at beating both teams. Okay? But obviously the Bills much harder than the Raiders. Big O, you have me in tears when you're saying Fat Harden. Well, I mean, I'm being honest, right? It is Fat Harden. Herman says, Big O, the Johnny Bravo mask is in the house. Yes, sir. It's a new one we added to the collection. A little Johnny Bravo.
Did you see Harden and the way he kind of misdirected what he was doing in Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
It's brief, but we do have it.
Go ahead, play it. Let's hear Harden on why he was in Vegas.
James, what was the point that you were trying to get across when you went to Atlanta and Vegas when training camp was starting?
I was just training.
What were you training for?
The start of the NBA season.
How did going to Atlanta and Vegas help you there when the Rockets were starting training camp in Houston?
Just my personal trainers.
I have a hard time believing that.
No, it's true. His personal trainer told him, listen, we're going to do the in and out exercise. And so he was going in and out of the burger place. And so he'd have one, animal style, and then he'd have a double, and then he'd go out again, and then he'd go in again, he'd go out again, he'd go in again. And that's why he's gained a little weight, because he was training, but the way he trained for this NBA season was by stuffing his face at In-N-Out Burgers over and over. And so that's really what he was doing. He's not lying to anybody.
You're making me envious, man.
It's the kind of exercise we all want.
I would go for that exercise.
And yeah.
Sign me up.
In and out. And he literally took it like, okay, that's my exercise.
Now, question was
in and out of burgers.
When he's doing in and out, is he actually walking up to the window?
No.
He's in the car.
He's driving.
Yeah, that's all. It's
a little faster.
Pretty strenuous exercise
a little faster.
Driving in the car, right?
I mean, you do have to press the gas and the brake.
Oh, okay.
And you got to move the wheels. So that's, there's a lot of effort involved.
I was actually thinking him walking up to the window like, okay, you're walking,
Yeah.
But driving, I don't know how much exercise is going on there.
I don't know. But, I mean, pretty soon, Fat Harden can be maybe a spokesman for In-N-Out Burger.
Maybe it's the lifting of the double, right?
Yeah.
The lift, it's a little heavier burger.
Yeah. I like it. Weighs a little bit more. Steve D'Onofrio says, let's go Chargers tonight. Hope Herbert lights it up. I'm with you there. Joshua Walsh says, I can't take the NBA seriously this because the players dictate the game. Super teams have destroyed the integrity of the game. Joshua, you're going extremes, bro. The Lakers and the Celtics were super teams. And they created the league. They didn't bring the league down. They created the league, okay? Because in the 80s, it was going to be the Lakers or the Celtics. My Sixers snuck in there 1 year or something. And
83.
And the Pistons then made it at the end of the 80s era.
Back-to-backs, yeah.
The Rockets snuck in there one time, too, during the 80s. But really, overall, it was dominated by the Celtics and the Lakers. And that didn't hurt us. San Antonio's been a dynasty for a long time, right? The Lakers with Shaq and Kobe had a little run together. The Bulls with their 6 championships. I'm sorry, I couldn't. In fact, Joshua, I'll tell you that the great teams is what makes the NBA. It's really the polar opposite of what the NFL is. The NFL is full of mediocre and bad football. Think about this year.
They want parity, man.
Think
That's
about this year. Well, they've got mediocrity, not parity.
Well, yeah.
But think about it this year. Only the Chiefs can be considered like close to being a great team or a great team. Nobody else.
They all have something.
Nobody else is even
that
close.
holds them back, yeah.
Pittsburgh was the most fraudulent 11-0 team I've ever seen in my life. And it's just there's not a lot of that. Now, in the NBA, it happened. That's been throughout this has been, well, this is not this part, but in the 80s and 90s, the golden era basically of the sport, you had it dominated by teams, a couple of teams that dominated. They had their turn every single time. The Celtics and the Lakers had their turn, then the Pistons had their turn, then the Bulls had their turn, then the Lakers again had their turn, and then San Antonio took their turn. Miami had it for a little bit. Golden State had it for a little bit. That's the way it is. Now the Lakers are back. And the Lakers now the Lakers are better this year than they were last year. You think it hurts the NBA to have the Lakers being great? Oh, man. That's how the NBA thrives. They thrive with great teams. It's the opposite of the NFL. The NFL wants to create mediocrity all throughout the league to keep everybody involved. That's all. They don't really care if it's good football or bad football. They want to expand to keep teams involved and cities involved. Meanwhile, in the NBA, we know the lower seeds have like no shot. None. Now, wild cards in the NFL go win the Super Bowl. Right? Wild cards in baseball go win the World Series. In basketball, no 7 and 6 seeds and 8 seeds and all that. They're not winning anything, dude. Ever in the NBA. It's the way it is.
Well, remember.
So it's two different ways of running your sport and two different things that you strive for. The NBA loves having great teams in it. The NFL is looking to have as much average as possible.
Ever since the salary cap in the NFL, because you remember back in the day,
yeah,
the season would start and we would. It's like basketball. You kind of knew, okay, these are the 3 or 4 teams that have a shot at the Super Bowl. You just knew it going in.
Yep.
And ever since the salary cap and the number of it isn't like basketball. You could get, like you talk about, you get 1 or 2 guys, and it totally changes your franchise. Football, man, it takes more than 1 or 2. You need 10 or 11, 12 guys.
Yeah, I'm with you. Darren's asking me, Big O, your thoughts on Tua? Is he the guy? I think it's too early to tell. Of course, it's too early to tell, but I'll tell you, I'll go on a limb and say he's the guy. I've never been concerned about him as the player. Never. I'm only concerned about one thing, and I've said it over and over and over and over and over again, and that's durability. That's it. That's all I am ever concerned. I'm not ever concerned that he can play the game. Look at what he did against Kansas City this week with a whole bunch of nobodies. That's a real quarterback. That's what you saw in Tua, a real quarterback. Big O, you still happy if the Dolphins end up 8-8 or 9-7? I think they can win at least 2 more. Yeah, hell yeah. They win 9 or 10 games. I'm super happy. I thought they would win 8, Sage. So they already met my number, 8. So I can't be. You can't be a hypocrite, or you can't be just a total BSer on all of this. I'm not going to change my tune because all of a sudden I'm going to demand that they win more. I hope they win more. The fact that they have a shot at 9 or 10 wins and even 11 is a shocker to me as it is. You know, if I'm thinking 8-8, I'm thinking that by the end of the season you're 8-8. Not with 3 games left. So I'm really happy any way, shape, or form. I'm already ecstatic with the season. This is the way I look at it now. It's been a successful season. I'm done. Whatever you do now is gravy. If you win 9, if you win 10, if you win 11, if you get in the playoffs, If you win in the playoffs, whatever. It's all gravy for me from here on out. That's the way I look at this. It's been a great, great season already for the Dolphins, and their future is absolutely phenomenal.
Don't you think it's important for us to get into the playoffs and get these guys some playoff experience? Because we know,
of course,
man,
but I can't demand it because it's ridiculous. Because
it's
none
not
of us
fair to
really
put expectations.
and we never thought that they would make the playoffs at the beginning of the year. Come on, man.
No,
Oh, I never thought they would.
It's just.
Did I ever say playoffs? I said 8
No,
and 8.
no. You were all about 8-8, and you know what I was doing? I was adding five. You know, from your 0-16 last year. But I went a little too far, I think, with that. But right now, man, I gotta say, I want us so badly to get in the playoffs, man, because you know that playoff experience. It pays dividends next year, the year after.
Everybody wants it.
Without playoff experience, man, if you can't buy it, and until you have it, you ain't got it. We need it.
I just have a really hard time taking any kind of negative attitude with the Dolphins this year. I have just an impossible time with that because I know what I've watched the last 20 years. And again, let's go back to being a hypocrite. Okay? And I'm going to try to avoid that as much as possible. I'm the guy that asked for Chris Greer. I'm the guy that wanted a organizational enema. All of that has happened, right? Everything that I wanted the Dolphins to do for years, they finally did it. The last couple of years, I've said, hey, when are you going to give Chris Greer a chance? They finally gave Chris Greer a chance. So am I going to complain about what Chris Greer is doing now? No. Am I going to complain about the organizational enema? No, because that's what I wanted. I wanted you to clean house completely, like flush everything down the toilet and start over. And they did that pretty much. And now I said, I think they're like an 8-8 team as much as possible. That's what I think they are. So if they got a shot to win 9, I can't complain, man. I can't. And if they don't win 9, well, I thought they were going to be around an 8-8 team. So I got lucky, and
we're still on pace.
Still on pace.
Or where?
Yeah.
It's just hard.
And that performance this week against Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
Man, I was really happy with that because they're not supposed to be there right now. Kansas City's a made team.
They're
proven already. Miami has not proven anything.
But doesn't with each benchmark you reaching and seeing?
Yeah, you want more.
Does it?
You raise the bar.
I mean, you know, okay, let's go
I'll raise the bar.
You do that. You do that. You live that way.
I live that way for myself personally. But I'll raise the bar on them next year.
The expectations for the year, so there isn't a letdown. And
right.
Oh, look at
how many times do I tell people all the time? Don't build yourself up to something unrealistic. We're already entering the unrealistic part of the season because really we didn't think that they would be a playoff caliber team.
No,
we didn't think that they would win double digits. So then how are we going to demand it? And then we're going to be mad at the team because they didn't get the double digits when they're only in the second year of rebuilding. I can't do that, Sage. I love what I see from this team. I love the future of this team. I can't wait for 2021. You know, I'm dying for this year to finish, and I want to see everything that's left because there's still maybe some surprises left and more stuff to be impressed about. But this year's team, man, deserves nothing but love and support, and Flo deserves nothing but respect for what he's been able to accomplish.
See, right now, because that playoff experience thing, and we've seen it.
Yeah.
Man, until you have it, you ain't got it. And if you ain't got none, it's really hard.
But they can get it next year, too.
To be so close and to get some playoff experience this year, I think that it really does put us a year ahead of what was the schedule.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
And look, I don't care if we're 9-7 and get in the playoffs. What I want, I don't care about the record.
The playoff experience.
I want that playoff experience, bro.
I got you.
because that goes a long way, man.
Ohio John says, Big O, 8 to 9 of the Dolphins' 11 rookie draft picks have played a significant role on this team already. Can you recall another time that's happened with the Dolphins? No, dude. I can't. It would have to be some random year from Shula that I don't remember anymore. But I don't remember that with any of the people after Shula till now. Chris Greer, but I kind of predicted this, didn't I? Didn't I say over a year ago, hey, Dolphins are going to prove to have one of the best front offices in the league. You'll see. Because a lot of people, you know, they didn't have faith in Chris Greer because they thought he was part of the problem when he really wasn't. He's just a black dude sending in reports, and nobody cares about the black dude. That's all. Sorry. I hate to be honest, but that's just the way it is. Until finally said, hey, you know, maybe in this world we need to be a little fair. Maybe we need to give minorities a chance. And there's Stephen Ross giving a minority a chance. And the rest is history. And then I know who Reggie McKenzie is, and I know who Marvin Allen is. So he goes and hires those guys. And it's not because you guys know it. I don't do this because I don't say something positive about a team because they're my favorite team or anything like that. I said it positive because I know what Chris Greer can do. I know plenty about Reggie McKenzie and plenty about Marvin Allen from personnel circles and conversations I've had for 20 years. So I knew that he was hiring two amazing people to their staff. But again, they're minorities. And the minority never gets the fair shake. Finally, Stephen Ross chose to give a minority a fair shake. And wow, what a concept. Holy crap. You mean the black person can do the same thing a white person can do? Wow, what a concept. So now, that's the beauty of Chris Greer having success. He will now influence others to give minorities an opportunity. That's what I love about all of this.
You were all about this being the Dolphins being trendsetters.
Yep. And they're going to be that. You'll see. Big O, it's probably too early. Do you think the Dolphins will do the vice versa next year by drafting defensive players and using the cap money to sign offensive players? No, Rosendo, I think they will use a lot of those picks on offensive players because if you want to sign a really good running back in free agency, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. They're not going to do that. If you want to sign a wide receiver in free agency that's really good, you're going to have to pay a boatload of money. They're not going to want to do that. And the most important point is they know how to draft, so they don't have to rely on free agency. And when you know how to draft, you're comfortable letting somebody go, get the compensatory pick for it, because then you'll replace them with another pick. Okay? So you don't want to trade Laramie Tunsil, but the second the deal becomes so sweet, you're like, well, here you go. Have him. We'll find another. And they went and found Austin Jackson. Okay? Let's see. John Rouse in the house. It says Philly at the spectrum with Dr. J, Moses, Andrew Toney, Bobby Jones, Clemson Johnson. What a team. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Maurice Cheeks.
Mo Cheeks. Love it. Yeah. And Darryl Dawkins was on that team, too.
Too bad Billy Cunningham's genius didn't transcend to the Heat. That was a money grab.
Yeah, he was just. Him
and Louis Chappelle, man.
Yeah.
In and out. Give me the money, bye-bye.
Yep. Joshua says, I like the games that allow small markets to be successful. I want salary cap and revenue sharing. The NFL runs itself like a socialist country. This is why the league is better. Let's see. Lester Colebrook. Tua is the guy. You damn right.
Hey, I got an idea, Mr. Tired.
Oh, you want to take a
Mr.
break?
Rundown. Well, look, man, you're only embarking into exactly 1 hour.
Oh, we've done an hour? Okay.
Well, yeah, astoundingly enough, yes. 1 hour is
all right,
down,
you know what? Let's take a break here. We've done 1 hour, 1 hour up, 1 hour down. We got 1 hour to go. If you want to get in, you can reach out to us on the text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, remember you can reach out to us also on Twitter. That's at Big O Show follow us there as always, because that, my friends, is like a 24-hour talk show. Don't forget, you can get the 2021 Toyota Corolla LE here. You can lease it for $149 a month or sign and drive for $281 a month. The Camry 2020 LE, I love the Camry. I got an XSE. You can lease it for $205 a month, or you can lease it, or you can sign and drive for $309 a month. The Toyota RAV4 LE four-wheel drive, lease it for $310 a month, sign and drive $382 a month. Some great deals out here at Toyota of Hollywood. The 2021 Prius Hybrid, the LE, you can lease it for $289 a month or sign and drive $425 a month. The Toyota CHR XLE four-wheel drive, that is the CHR is such a sleek looking, like it's one of those vehicles that's like in between the car and the SUV.
Yeah, it looks like a sports car, but then it looks like, you can pile in the team and go.
It's such a cool looking car. You can actually lease that one for $210 a month and $345 for sign and drive, folks. Make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. They've got a great staff out here. I see Steve Ostrov out here with Herbie Lopez, Gary Thompson, Rick, Eddie, Joel Rubio, Lori Rodriguez. Just some great people out here. They're always willing to take care of you at Toyota of Hollywood. Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to peer, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction. Listen, I've been telling you about Eric for a long time now. Custom home builder for additions, home remodeling. We're not talking about a handyman. Maybe you want to redo that man cave. We're not going to a lot of live sporting events. So you want to improve that experience in your man cave? Call them 305-433-4843. Tell them that Big O sent you and go to the Instagram page. You can see the before and after there. You'll be impressed. EJD_construction. Call them 305-433-4843 or go to the website ejdconstruction.com.
America's premium sports sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. TLX $259 a month, $259 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
All right, we back. Hope you all are doing well out there. Don't forget that Moody's Dental, a proud sponsor of our program. We love the folks over at Moody's Dental. I was there just 2 days ago, actually getting 2 crowns at Moody's Dental. And what I love about Moody's Dental is that they do the crowns right there and then. I didn't have to have, the 2, the temporaries, and then come back a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, depending on where they sent it off to make or whatever. They made them right there and then. So it was actually really cool. I had to get my teeth cleaned. I didn't, because the whole pandemic, I didn't want to go to the dentist. I hadn't gone to the dentist since early last year. No, I think I didn't go to the dentist till, I think it was late the year before, actually. So it'd been pretty close to a year. And most of us, I'm sure you're like me, you go like every 6 months to get your teeth cleaned and stuff like that. And so I had to get my teeth cleaned. I had to get my stuff for my Invisaligns replaced. And then I got 2 crowns, and they were fantastic. And let me tell you something, man, if you're looking for a dentist for your family, for you personally, Eric Murias and that family is just absolutely amazing. The place is spotless. The service is second to none. Everything is, updated. We're talking about state of the art, everything. Again, like I said, if you're going to get an implant or you're going to get a crown or something like, they make it right there and then. They've got the machine to make it right there and then. It is absolutely awesome how they take the digital imprint. Digital, too. You know how back in the day they would make the clay stuff and then they stick it in there and it tastes like crap and then you got to hold that mold in there for a while. They don't do any of that at Moody's Dental, dude. There's no clay. There's none of that crap. There's none of that stuff. No, dude. All they do is they grab this pen. It's a digital pen. And they just circle your teeth and it gets the measurement within seconds. And it sends it to the computer and the computer goes and makes the tooth and boom, it's done. It's pretty cool. So call them 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Implants, Invisaligns, teeth cleaning, cavities, whatever you need, man. They do it all for you and your family. So call the great people at Moody's Dental. Support the people that support us, man. It's very important to keep our show going. You got to support the people that supports us. So Moody'sDental.com. Great people out there. Let's see what else. Big O, did you see the breakdown by Brian Baldinger of Tua's last game on Twitter? It's a 5-minute video from NFL Total Access. Truly special stuff by the kid with camera angles we couldn't see in the last game. I'll look it up, my brother. I'll look it up. I'll check it out. I didn't need that, to be honest with you, but I know what you're saying, that it's cool to see it in different angles so you can appreciate it a little bit more. But if you listen to our postgame show on Onside Radio, and we'll be on Sunday right after the Dolphins beat the Pats, and if you listen to me right from that get-go, I told you that was his best performance as a Miami Dolphin. I know it's only 6 games, but I was so impressed that he elevated everybody around him. And these are guys, Mac Hollins, and these are guys that they're not household names. And he's playing with his 7th and 8th and 9th string, wide receivers. And he's playing with his 4th and 5th string running backs. This is nuts what the kid's doing. Really is. And then he was playing towards the end with his backup, tight end and Shaheen. And just everything was backups out there, man. It's pretty amazing what Tua did against Kansas City. I could not have been more impressed with all of that. I got to tell you, man. So, but anyway, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line, of course. Many ways to chime in on the program. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because as you all know, that, my friends, is a 24-hour talk show there on Twitter, and it's always something to behold because I tell you, it doesn't stop. That's the one thing that I will tell you about about doing that is that Twitter feed just never stops, man. 24 hours a freaking day. Amazing stuff. Let's see, what do we have here? Good morning, Big O. Time to make the donuts. That's what James in the DR says. I guess he sent that earlier on the text line. Love it. Love it. All right, what else do we have here? Oh, we've got Flo today, right? We got Tua also, right?
We got Tua from yesterday.
Yeah, right, because he only talks once a week.
Flo from today. Yes, sir.
Well, why don't we do Tua first? Pull up Tua first. We'll get to Flo because that's the latest stuff, and I'll break down what he has to say if there was anything that he had to say.
Ready for you.
And by the way, folks, if you sign on to the Onside Zone, please subscribe to that podcast, the Onside Zone with Big O. That's the name of the show over on Onside Radio, Onside Zone. Today, we had Safid Dean on from the South Florida Sun Sentinel, and we talked a lot of Dolphins with him. We also had Kurt Heelan from Pro Basketball Talk. He was absolutely fantastic. Who else did we have on the show? Now I'm forgetting who else we had on the show. But tomorrow, Ruthie Polinsky from Channel 6 is going to join us. Michelle Kaufman will join us. And Mike Reese, also from ESPN. He covers the Patriots. He will join us also on the show tomorrow. So we got a loaded show tomorrow. So make sure you check it out. But we were rocking today. All right, let's hear from Tua. And let's get the latest from the young quarterback. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Tua, I'm curious how, for you, with 3 weeks left in the season, there are a lot of players out there, unfortunately, don't have as much to play for from a team perspective. For you, what does it mean to be playing in important games that mean so much in the playoff race now as a rookie?
Yeah, I think all our games are important. I don't think it's necessarily just, this game in particular, but at this point in time, this is our most important game. It's really whatever team we have at that moment. That's our most important game. That's what we're focused on, and really we're just really preparing for the Patriots.
Armando.
Hi, Tua. So, how familiar are you with Bill Belichick's reputation as a defensive coach, and what are your thoughts about seeing that defense for the first time on the field?
I would say I'm pretty familiar. I grew up watching the Patriots play, in a lot of the Super Bowls. I would also say, I've seen Bill a good amount at Alabama. Him and Nick are pretty good friends. So I would say very similar in a way with, I guess, Coach Saban with how they go about doing things. But I know that there's going to be a lot of challenges that his defense has to offer our offense, and we just got to be prepared this week for those.
Safid?
Hey, Tua, I would say that the defense that you face in practice is pretty similar to the Patriots defense. How do you think that is going to help you prepare for Sunday's game?
I think our scout team does a good job helping prepare us offensively for the games. It's all dependent on the looks that we're going to get. And, I think the scout team does a good job at that. But there's always going to be new things that are going to pop up, whether it's a front or something happens in the back end. You just got to be prepared for it and, adapt to that change on the fly.
Hal?
Hi, Tua. How you doing? I'm not sure if you saw, but after the game, Patrick Mahomes was very complimentary toward you, especially how you approached the latter portions of the game. He said, when I was a young quarterback, I might have tried to force some throws, try to score 20 points at a time. And he saw a lot of composure on your part to take what was there and do it one play at a time. Where does that mindset come from? Is that just part of your DNA, or how did you develop that mindset?
I would say that's been our motto or our little mantra offensively, is you take it one play at a time. How can you do your best job on just this particular play? moving forward. So it's really just the one play at a time mentality. And if the play doesn't go well, then really it's the next snap, next play mentality. But I think a lot of credit goes to our coaches and helping us, preparing us for those things where we're in passing situation. These guys are going to get back, take what they give you. They give you a flat, they give you a flat. If they give you a deep route, they give you a deep route. So it's really take what the defense gives you.
Adam?
Over the last 2 games, you had targeted Mike Gesicki 17 times. You threw 3 touchdown passes to him. Obviously, his status for this weekend's up in the air, but if he is unable to go, how do you duplicate that kind of production? Do you do it with one player? Do you do it across the board?
Yeah, I think it's hard to replace, a guy like Mike. It's also hard to replace any of these guys like Devontae, Jakeem. But it's next man up, and the guys that are ready to play, they're hungry to play, and this is just an opportunity for them as well. This is great time for me as a quarterback to show my leadership to these guys, these new guys, and then also work my timing with them.
Steve?
I ask this because you're playing the Patriots for the first time. When you think of the Patriots growing up as a football fan, what comes to mind?
I think when you think of the Patriots, you think of dominant. They've been very dominant over the past 2 decades, I would say, especially when Brady was there. And, I think they have a really talented quarterback in Cam Newton and also with Jarrett Stidham. But their defense has always been their biggest deal. Belichick takes pride, and all their DCs that have come there, even Coach Flo, they all take pride in their defense and what they do to stop offenses. So like that's the biggest thing I would say is pretty much dominant.
All right, time for one more. We'll go to Cam.
Got the last one again, Tua. I wanted to ask you, Jalen Hurts got his first start for the Eagles this past week, and he's getting it again this week. I'm curious if you were able to talk to him or see him perform, and if you could share any of that.
Yeah, I wasn't able to talk to him before the game or after the game, but I would say maybe 2 or 3 weeks we've talked, a good amount, about whatever situation he was in and whatnot, and we were going back and forth talking about it. But I'm really happy to see him and how successful he's been, and that's a big win, against the Saints. So congratulations to Jalen and his team, and I hope he continues to do well.
There you go. Tua. There was nothing that I can really stop and really elaborate on. He kind of gave him house answers, and none of the questions were really anything, that were in depth to any kind of controversy or insight.
Going into the New England game, you don't think that everybody's like reins are pulled back and Flores is like,
no, but it's not like
the company line.
But more often than not, that's what he's going to be always. He's not really going to give you, a ton of.
He's a good guy. He's not going to be
smart.
that idiot.
Smart.
Throws everybody under the bus or creates an issue or a riff.
He's too smart, man.
Yeah, man.
He's way too smart, man.
We got a winner there, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that. Big ol' NFL writer Nick Shook just announced that Emmanuel Ogbah was the 6th-ranked free agent signed before the 2020 season. He's been phenomenal, man. He's been a great signing. Adam says, I hope the defense can make some plays to help the offense out Sunday. Maybe Cam is feeling generous this holiday season and X is feeling greedy. Adam, the key will be to stop the run. And then you can force Cam to beat you with his arm, and then that's what you're talking about, my friend. That's kind of the key in this. One of the keys in this game is that you've got to make New England this week. New England's got to walk into that stadium and go, "Oh crap, we're not going to run this time." That's Flo has to design the perfect defense, The guys have to be exceptional at executing. Okay? They've got to frustrate the crap out of New England and make sure that they have no confidence in running the football because they have very little confidence in throwing the ball. So, and what's Miami's strength more than anything? Their secondary. So that front seven, that's why the Landon Roberts and the Kyle Van Noy workouts or practices are so important. You need to get those guys back, man. So if you can get those guys back, that'll be the key, Adam. If you want to get Cam into the giving mood this holiday season, then force him to pass the ball because then you'll force him into mistakes. But if he only has to pass the ball 10 to 15 times because they're running on you left and right, then that becomes a real problem. Because the guys like Lamar, the guys like Cam, the limited passers, if they stay limited on their passes, they limit their mistakes. But if you make them have to pass more than they should, that's when the mistakes happen. So if Miami can walk into this game on Sunday and shut down that run game, they're in. And they'll force Cam into a mistake or two. I can guarantee you that with that secondary. Mike says, I doubt the Patriots throw more than 15 passes total against us. They're going to test our run D and shut down Gesicki if he plays. Gesicki's not going to play. I'm not believing that. Now I'm thinking Lion. Let's see. What else do we have here? Tua looks and sounds like the Seattle QB. Weird. I mean, it's not so bad, right? If I'm Tua, as long as I end up with something like Ciara, then he's doing all right. If he wins a championship and he's got a Ciara type babe, I think he's doing all right.
I really don't care about his girl, but I like the championship thing.
Have you seen Ciara?
I'm saying I'm sure he's going to get a hot girl. I really don't care what girl he gets up with.
I'm just saying, Russell Wilson.
I care about him.
Russell Wilson married a 10.
A ring. Hey, man, look, if you're that guy, you should have a 10. If you don't have a 10, then I have a problem.
Well, apparently,
I'm not surprised if you do.
According to what is it? Jake
Inquiring
Paul,
Minds?
Paul, Jake, whatever. What's the name of those guys?
Who?
Jake Logan Paul.
Oh, the Logan.
According to Logan Paul or Paul Logan or whatever, or,
Jake
or
Logan.
Logan's Run.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but apparently, according to the Jakes or the Pauls or the Logans, Connor's married to a 4. So, I'm just saying. Did you hear that rant?
Just like that.
Yeah, did you hear that rant?
No, I did not.
Oh yeah, no, you got to look up
Really?
look up the rant. Jake Paul challenges Conor McGregor to a fight. He offers $50 million.
Okay,
in that rant.
Okay.
He says, "Oh, hey, what are you doing, Conor? I bet you're beating up old men now too. This and that. You're also married to a 4. Man, you can do a lot better."
Okay, I did hear that rant, but I didn't go all the way.
You didn't pick up. Oh, it's right away. It's right there. It's like within seconds of the rant. Listen to it again.
I'm not picking up on the tabloid
He took a shot
stuff.
at everything, dude.
Yeah.
He took a shot at everything.
See, for me, the tabloid stuff, I look at it as like garbage, like crap, filler. You know what I mean? I'm looking. Yeah, he's being
I got you.
guy,
I got
throwing
you.
chairs at moving buses and.
I got you, but I mean, apparently he married a 4. And Gus, thank you for sending me the video from Baldy. I will check it out in a little while when I get home and I get to relax.
I got a question.
I will definitely check it. Maybe I should pull it. Maybe I'll pull it up on the big screen. That's probably what I'll do. I'll pull it up on the big screen when I get home.
Sunday.
Man, thank the Lord for smart TVs.
Did you catch the Tom Petty on Reels?
Oh no, but it's recorded.
Okay, yeah.
It's recorded. I
Yeah.
did record it.
Man.
It's all there.
You know something, that guy, man, you don't think about it, but, man, he's got so many hits.
Oh, yeah.
So many songs.
Yeah.
I am so glad I got to see, obviously, you've seen him multiple times. I got to see him that one time for Wildflowers at Miami Arena.
Right.
And, wow, what a I'm so sorry I didn't see him more.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, we were blessed to see him a couple months before he checked out, and Peter Wolf opened up for him, and it was in Queens actually. We saw him over at the tennis center.
Did he do a little angel?
Rolling Hills, it's called Rolling Hills.
Rolling Hills, yes.
Yeah, I just, why is it called Rolling Hills and it's in the middle of Queens? There are no hills. It's not like
They want to fake the people out that aren't aware of the surroundings. And hey, you're gonna come and see Rolling Hills. It's
I
really
don't know. It
nice.
just
Come.
doesn't seem, like when you call something Rolling Hills, it seems like it's out in the country somewhere. Not in the middle of Queens. It's kind of weird, you know what I mean? But it was cool to go to a place that's historic in Rolling Hills because obviously, I mean, how many tennis tournaments have we seen there for many, 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 many years since I was a child? And that thing, you could tell that thing's been around for a long, long time, actually. But it was cool to see Tom Petty for the last time. Didn't know it was going to be the last time when I saw him there because we were there for a whole week in New York to see all kinds of concerts. That I got to tell you, that is one of the things that I am looking forward to the most is that the second that this thing is really done and we can travel with confidence, I got to pick a week somewhere in New York or in Los Angeles just to go hang out and see 4 or 5 shows in a week. I need that. I need that for my sanity. I mean, so badly, it's not even funny. Okay? I need it in a big time way. I'm hoping I get it.
If I'm a betting man, the better group of options would probably be Los Angeles area, correct?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Los Angeles, Vegas, or New York. Now, I would rather go Los Angeles.
You were the one that pointed it out to me because I said, man, no, Vegas has got to be the place. And you were like, no, take a look.
No, L.A.
And L.A., man.
Can't beat
L.A., 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like go from the center of L.A., go 45 minutes north, south, whatever.
Well, we
east,
still,
west.
we still have
Man.
our tickets for Pearl Jam in Oakland.
Still.
Oh, yeah,
Creep still has those?
Yeah, we never gave them back. So, yeah.
So when in the hell are they going to do this for us?
Oh, that'll be in 2021 sometime. I don't know when they're going to schedule it. But that might be the week that we plan, that we go to Oakland.
And then drop down south.
Yeah. Fly into San Fran, maybe drive down to L.A., and then fly out of L.A.
Yeah?
Who knows? Maybe we can fly out of Vegas, too, because maybe if we're there for like a week or 10 days, what we do is we go to several concerts from Northern California, Southern California to Vegas. So we can actually,
Just make a big L?
Yeah, or a big triangle. You know what I mean? It's a big triangle.
I love the way you think, bro.
I mean, they're all close to each other. They're only like 5 hours each. Like it's like a 5-hour drive from Vegas to LA, and it's like a 5-6 hour drive from San Fran to LA also. So what the hell? It's not a big deal, dude. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna do that. Like I need it for my sanity.
Right.
Like, there's no way that I've been.
Yeah, you're going through
I'm gonna be
withdrawals and stuff
I'm gonna
like
be
that,
a
bro.
year without
Yeah, man.
concerts for sure. Because I'm not going to one this month. I'm not
Oh.
going to one next month, and I'm not going to one in February.
Bro.
So by the end of February 28th was the last day we went to
Dude,
a concert.
I was just gonna say we are literally 2 months almost away
Yeah,
from being at a year.
A year. I've never ever
That-
done that, ever.
No, you've never gone more than a month.
Probably
3
never.
weeks.
I don't think I've ever gone. Maybe it's happened once or twice that I didn't go for a month or something, and I don't know what the hell. Maybe because I had stents in my heart and I was in a hospital or something. I remember when I went.
Strictly medical condition.
Yeah, it had to be something like that. In fact, I missed out on 3 Fix concerts when I went into the hospital.
That's
that was the
hard-
last time they came that I had a chance to see them, and I was going to see them 3 times within days. Well, he and I are like Fix fanatics. Okay, I know it's not normal. Nobody ever tells you they're a Fix fanatic.
Well, you're way above me, and
Whatever,
I
but
think I
still.
got 5 or 6 under my belt. So
Yeah.
you got to have 12,
Yeah,
13.
I don't know. I've
or-
seen them a bunch. I don't even know. I don't know what the count is, but it's probably in double digits. There's no doubt about that. But still, man, it's like, damn. I know, just weird. So I got to tell you, once this thing gets back to normal again, I am going to go on one of our infamous concert trips because I just need it. If not, I'm going to go insane. if you could go back in time to see one performer in concert who's not with us anymore, who would it be? Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix. That's it. It's pretty simple. I can come like that. Jimi Hendrix. Love Jimi Hendrix. That's my favorite guitarist of all time. I think he is the god of all gods when it comes to the rock guitar. And
would be seeing full Beatles lineup second, maybe.
Yeah, that would be cool. Definitely, I would love Beatles or Zepp if you bring back Bonham. You know what I mean? So I could do all those, but Jimmy would be.
So 2A, 2B is Beatles, Zepp, but
I would probably
one is all by himself.
I would probably put Zepp slightly ahead of the Beatles.
Just
like
because,
it would be Hendrix, Zepp, Beatles. Is probably what, if you gave me an order, it's probably those three right there. Now, Queen with Freddie Mercury also is another one that I would love to, because I never got to see Queen. So that hurt. And
wait a minute. That's in excess, bro.
Oh, man.
That's got to be
Michael Hutchins.
Right?
Yeah. But Hendrix would be the guy.
Because the fact that we never
no fence straddling. If I have to pick one, it's Jimi Hendrix. Wow. I have
that
to
one's
see.
all by itself.
All by itself. Dude.
Everybody else is
I love Hendrix, man.
Congregation of 2A, B, C, blah, whatever.
I'm an enormous Hendrix guy. I love Hendrix, man. I would give anything to see that guy. He's a god, bro. That guy was ahead of everybody. His mind was so far ahead of everybody playing guitar that he just set, he set rock on fire with what he was doing, and then he opened up the door for rock to go in another amazing direction. So it would have to be Hendrix for sure. Let's see. Big O, what's your pick for tonight? You think Chucky keeps on losing? Well, they're missing four of their defensive starters. Not that defense is any good anyway, as it is. So it'll be even worse. Chargers can score points. They've got a really good wide receiving core, man. I really like their wide receiving core. I got to tell you something. I would probably go Chargers +3 here, even though they're professionals at losing. But Chucky and company are completely falling apart. And even Derek Carr had a terrible game last week. You know what? It's not one of my picks of the week, okay? And we went 2-1 this week, by the way, just so you'll know where we at here. Let me give you the skinny. We won Washington +3, which they won, so we didn't need the points. Colts and Raiders, I told you to take over 51. They scored 71. And then we took the Browns on Monday night +3, and that backdoor cover with that safety. It would have been a push, so we ended up 2-1. And so we are now 32-30 on the season. We are now 2 games above 500. Now, this is not one of my picks of the week. I am not picking this game at all. Tomorrow at Craig's Inn, I will give you my picks of the week. But, gun to head, I got to make a pick. No fence straddling. Chargers +3. Okay?
Did you hear about a lot of the betting lines and sports books giving back people their money, like letting them have the, if you played a parlay and stuff like that, giving them back their money on that little safety situation from Monday night?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, man. My buddy pointed it out to me, and he said, hey, SVP even mentioned the fact that
so no bad break for that
bunch
person.
of sports books gave people back their money, and I said it right away, and he goes, it's exactly what SVP said, that they know that they're going to get that money eventually.
Oh, yeah.
We got 3 weeks left in the season.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
playoffs are coming.
Yeah.
Let's give them this bone.
Yeah.
We know we're going to get ours. It's coming back to us.
Yeah,
No
that
big deal.
that makes sense. I didn't know that. Wow, they took my money.
They never do that. That was
they-
a very nice gesture.
They took my money. I lost that game. They took my money.
They took your money.
Damn right, they took my money. Yeah, they took my money.
They didn't let you.
I still won anyways. I went 2-1, so it's all right. I'm not.
You're all right.
You know, but with a 3-0 week, it's nice when it's unblemished.
There's a big difference.
You know, it's
between
yeah.
1,066%, right? There's a big difference.
One of them where you didn't have to pay the vig. Yeah, come on, man, that's good. Let's see.
We do have Flo here waiting for you, bro.
We'll do that in a second. Let me. Let's see. What do we have here on the Tua is soaking up the knowledge. Okay. Let's see. If you can go back and watch an NFL prime again, who would it be? No, it wouldn't be Marino because I saw all of Marino. So it's not something that I would go. You know what I would do? I would go back to the 72 season. That's what I would do. I saw all of Marino. I went to a ton of the games. I had season tickets to a lot of those games. Pretty much throughout most of his career, I had season tickets with my dad. So no, I mean, I love Marino, don't get me wrong, but I lived it. So it's not something that I missed. I win in that section. Now, the undefeated season, I was a child. So I would rather be an adult and watch if it's one game or is it a season or I don't know what you're talking about. But if it's one game, then take me to the Super Bowl where they complete the perfect season and I get to be in that moment, and that'll be cool. If it's just one player, one game, Dolphins, then it'll have to be something in the 72 season. I'd have to go back and look, a great Zonka performance or Paul Warfield or something, or just a dominant defensive performance. Something. It would have to be something with the 72 team
Super
involved.
Bowl 8 with Zonka setting the record
Whatever,
for most
yeah,
rushing yards again.
something like that.
Us running all over the Purple People Eaters
Yes.
defense, man.
Yes.
That was
Marshall and the boys. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
If
that
you
would
had to-
probably be that.
If you
because-
had to pick one player in NFL history, because I mean, two immediately jumped in my, just because of what they did, and I mean, obviously one would be Gale Sayers. 6 touchdowns in the rain that day. I think
Right.
it was the 49ers. Or Sammy Baugh, the way he would throw the ball and all the games they won, and that team, like what he was doing in the 50s. Nobody threw the ball, and they also had those white footballs. Remember?
Right.
I mean,
right.
Just something off the wall.
Yeah. I'm thinking if I want to see something, God.
Go to Notre Dame and see Newt Rockne throw the first forward pass ever in football.
I got to tell you something. This is going to bother a lot of people out there when I say this. I can't, because I know I would have gravitated to the AFL. I actually would like to have seen the AFL beat the NFL in the Super Bowl, which means the Jets.
You would have stayed right here local, bro, at the OB.
Right there in the OB. And that would have been a cool moment, because I know that if I was a kid or a young man, a teenager or a young man growing up in the 60s, I know I would have gravitated to the AFL, and I would have been the guy that would have been, arguing with the NFL kids about that the AFL is better and more entertaining and this and that. So the moment that the AFL beats the NFL, I think that would have been a pretty cool moment to be a part of, even though if it's the stinking Jets. You know what I mean? I will say this. Even if it's the Jets, I think Namath is likable as hell. You know what I mean? I've never disliked Namath. Ever. I like Namath. I think he's cool. And he
Well,
did,
the Jets weren't the Jets that they
right,
are.
in those days, right, yeah. You're right about that.
They were a different.
Yes. You're right. It was a different time too. It was just a whole different era.
Well, you
back
being
then.
the AFL guy, dude, you were
I would have
the-
been rooting for
wait,
KC. I would have been rooting
you
for the
were the
Dolphins. I would have
US
been rooting for
wait,
any AFL team in the
You
Super
were
Bowl.
the USFL guy.
Yes, I love the USFL.
Battling the NFL. So
Yes, I love the USFL.
You're not going out on a limb here saying you would have
not
been
at
the AFL guy.
Not at all. But I know I would have been that AFL guy, and I would have loved it. And I think being a part of that moment might have been really cool when the AFL really broke through, and it was like, because they forced a merger. And that's really why Namath is in the Hall of Fame, because he helped force the merger by signing with the AFL and all the notoriety it brought and everything to it. Because it's really not about his stats. It's really, he's not supposed to make it on his stats. Let's see what else. Marino for me, because I was too young to appreciate him. Right, see? I can understand for young people wanting to see Marino. And you definitely want to see him in 84 when he's breaking all those records and he's lighting up the world. You know what I mean? But
I
I
don't
lived
want to
it.
see the Super Bowl, though.
No, right. But I lived that. I watched it. I was at the stadium. I watched it on TV. I lived that whole thing. So it was great to live, don't get me wrong, but it's not. I want to see something that I never got to see. I want to see something that I wasn't a part of. That's probably what I would want. Saw In Excess at the Miami Arena in the late 80s was awesome. Of course it's awesome. It's an awesome band and one of the great singers, man. Let's see. If Devonta Smith is there for the Dolphins, what would you do, Big O? Oh, no, I love him. Love him. Him and ATN, I would love to see in a Dolphin uniform. I'm 36 now, so watching Marino in his prime would be amazing. Yeah, exactly. You're young, man. You're 36. Definitely. You didn't live the Marino era, So I get all of that. Let's see. The first New England game, Cam ran left and right. What defenses do, you run to stop Cam running. Yep. That'll be this whole game. This whole game will be about shutting that run game down. And they do that, and they'll be fine, man. They'll kick ass. I won't be worried about them. You know what I mean? All right. If you want to get in, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because that, my friends, is a 24-hour talk show. Let me do a little music here. Usually we give you a little music stuff on the show. Today on December 17th, back in 1986. There we go. More than 4 years after breaking up, the Doobie Brothers played a reunion show in Palo Alto, California to benefit a charity. It inspired them to do a reunion tour the next year. In 1994, on this date, Richie Zambora married actress Heather Locklear. In 2005, Billboard revealed that U2 had the top grossing tour of the year with their 90-day vertical trek, which was seen by more than 3 million people and grossed $260 million. I remember that tour. I went to that tour a couple times. In 77, David Bowie released his fourth album, Hunky Dory. And in 2012, Billboard named the top 3 songs of the year in 2012 on this date. Top 3 songs. Are you ready for this? Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe. Gautier's, Somebody That I Used to Know. And Fun, We Are Young. I can't believe that was already 8 years ago. Okay? I got to admit, okay, no, I don't like Carly Rae Jepsen. No, I don't like that song. But Fun, We Are Young, love that song, dude. Love that song. And I know they burned it out on radio, but I don't listen to radio. I listen to my own music and then satellite, so I don't really get any song burnt out. I listen to it as much as I want to listen to it, not as much as the radio wants to play it. And Gautier's Somebody That I Used to Know, I really like that song too. But man, Fun is one of those songs that I can be in the car and I can be screaming, because obviously I don't sing, screaming the hell out of that song. Now, do you know how much power Chappelle has?
I know that he's kind of been able to write his own ticket, and
Well,
whatever he like when he gets involved in something, It's all his call.
Now, listen to this.
LeBron style.
You want power? Chappelle's show was removed by HBO Max, will be removed by HBO Max by the end of the year, honoring a request by David Chappelle. The news was confirmed by HBO and HBO Max chief Casey Bloys in a conversation with Variety. We had a conversation with Dave, Bloys began. I won't get into it, but it's very clear that it's a very unique and specific and emotional issue he's got. So at the end of the year, at the end of this year, December 31st, we're going to honor his request and take the show down. The HBO move is likely to be following a request Dave Chappelle made to Netflix last month to take down the special as well, which the streaming giant also accepted. Chappelle explained on Instagram that Viacom CBS had licensed the Comedy Central series without paying him, which prompted his request. He says, when I left that show, I never got paid. I found out that these people were streaming my work, and they never had asked me, or they never had to tell me. Perfectly legal, because I signed the contract. He continued, but is that right? I don't think so either. That's why I like working for Netflix. I like working for Netflix because when all those bad things happened to me, that company didn't exist. In the same video, Chappelle revealed that originally HBO rejected his pitch to the show, which was brought to them before it went to Comedy Central. They said literally, what do we need you for? That's what they told me as they kicked me out of the office. What do we need you for? And here we are all those years later, and they're streaming the very show I was pitching to them. So I'm asking them, what do you need me for? How awesome is that? How awesome is that? And they don't have to take it down because contractually he signed it away. And yet they're doing it. And that shows you the power of Chappelle, because if they ever want to get another chance at working with Chappelle, that's what you do. Okay? Pretty amazing stuff, dude.
Gotta give HBO Max props too.
A little bit, because I think they have an ulterior motive, and it's pretty obvious. It's like, okay, let's make Chappelle happy, because maybe down the line
he reciprocates.
Yeah,
back.
and he works with us and all that, and I doubt he.
So you think this is strictly ulterior motive?
Dude, I've been in this business for 30 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
People don't have a heart.
These people are sons of bitches.
These are the Grinches.
These are all these are all mother.
They need to get the Whoville, man, and have their heart grow. You know what I mean?
Well, the only way their heart grows is if they get myocarditis from
COVID.
From COVID. Okay, that's the only way their heart grows.
So basically,
these are the coldest, cruelest, dirtiest people on the planet.
Tell us how you really feel, though.
Hey, man, I've been a part of this. I've seen it firsthand. I know how these companies work, these media giants, and most of them are incredibly unfair to all their talent. And if they can abuse their talent, they will easily abuse the talent.
So they ring out the racket, everything,
entertainment, movies, radio, TV, newspaper, you name it, dude.
Bleed you dry.
They don't care about you, man. They don't care about you. But I was impressed by Chappelle's power, that it's like, okay, because if you're a nobody at that point and they don't care, screw you, dude. You signed it away. Get the hell out of here. What do we need you for? They would have said, we don't need you for anything. We got already. The fact that they are doing that, that tells you how much power that man still has. Obviously, we all watch everything he does, pretty much. I mean, if a Chappelle special comes out, we're all like, okay, let me go get it. Let me go see it. I got to watch it. Pretty much. So it shows. Do you know who Scott Stapp is? Scott Stapp, I'm sorry.
It sounds familiar.
Creed?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Of
All
course.
Right. So Creed, Scott Stapp, is going to make his debut as an actor. Now, Ronald Reagan biopic is being filmed. So the frontman is going to portray legendary crooner Frank Sinatra in the film, telling Billboard of somewhat surprising role. Sinatra in the performance mode was an exercise in restraint. He had this steery, stylish swagger, and his sheer presence commanded a room. I was excited to join the cast and blown away by the on-set attention to detail, style, and overall production. We are honored to have Scott in Reagan, adds Reagan director Sean McNamara. Scott's known for his big, high-energy performances, so it was a thrill to see him shift gears to embody Sinatra's contained charisma. By the way, the title role of Reagan will be played by Dennis Quaid. Scott also joined the likes of Mina Suvari, Kevin Dillon, and John Voight on the cast. Holy crap, bro. Huh? Reagan, by the way, is due to release in 2021 and is currently, filming has been shut down in October due to the coronavirus. So Scott Stapp to play Frank Sinatra. That's pretty amazing. And then, of course, Dennis Quaid to play Ronald Reagan. Well, I just forgot what I was about to talk about. Yeah.
My favorite Frank Sinatra was the SNL. It's a big head. Get another one, Bono and everybody coming in like, okay, get out of here. Get out of here. That's it.
I love it. Billy Gibbons, for those of you that maybe you're a ZZ Top fan, he has announced a live stream concert to be broadcast from Austin on New Year's Eve. I like this. I think I'll be doing it. The 6th annual Jungle Show will find a classic rocker teaming up with an all-star lineup of blues musicians, including Jimmy Vaughn. How about that? Mike Flanagan, Sue Foley, and Chris Layton. Under normal circumstances, the group would perform in front of an audience at Anton's in Austin, but with COVID-19 still raging, Gibbons decided to go virtual with the show. For 5 consecutive years, we look forward to putting on the Jungle Show together between Christmas and New Year's Eve. It's been a great way for all of us to cap the old year and bring in a new one in a rockin' style. Despite the reality of 2020, we are determined to keep our streak going, so we've decided to go viral, the good kind of viral, he says, and offer the Jungle Show to the world beyond Austin. I look forward to playing with Sue, Chris, Mike, and Billy at the end of every year. This year is no different, except for the fact that in a sense we moved the show way out of the woods and directly into your house. The Jungle Show will air 8 p.m. on New Year's Eve in various time zones around the world, including Eastern and Pacific in the U.S. Tickets for the broadcast are $25 and can be purchased now at the Jungle Show's website. Well, that's where I'm out. I'm not paying $25. I have not paid for any kind of virtual concert, and I will not pay for a virtual concert. Why? Because I think that virtual concert eventually ends up on video, and I can see it free after. So, no. So I won't be doing that. But I like it. It's cool. I like seeing Billy Gibbons. I like seeing Jimmy Vaughn. I saw Jimmy Vaughn.
What? Do you hear what's playing in the background right now?
No.
I get up. I get down.
Oh, okay.
It just so happens ZZ Top just came out over.
Love it. I love it. I saw Jimmy Vaughn twice. 2 years ago, I saw him in New York, opening up for Eric Clapton. And then about 3 years ago, I saw Jimmy Vaughn and Steve Miller at the Adrian Arce Center, and they did a blues set for almost 2 hours. No Steve Miller songs. It was all blues. It was awesome. What a treat that was. That was beautiful. David says, interesting HBO doc on Bee Gees. Don't laugh. They were prolific, and late 60s stuff were soulful. Their disco era stuff was more R&B, but they got tarred. David, I mean, I don't know what you were expecting, but the Bee Gees are monsters, dude. I would never. The Bee Gees are one of the incredible groups of all time because of the changes that they made and the successes they had in different genres. That's very hard what the Bee Gees did. That their early career success was completely different than their latter career success, where it was more dance-oriented and pop. So, no, I'm with you all the way. I would watch a Bee Gees documentary in a heartbeat, man. Are you kidding me? Plus, I got to tell you something in a sick and twisted way as just a male because I am a male. How much tail did the main guy get, Barry? Come on. I mean, my mom would melt every time that guy was on. Right? Barry Gibb was the one with the beard, right? The tall one. Wasn't it Barry?
Barry was the front.
Right,
yes.
the front, the top dude.
The next one for
that
I think he's the brother Andy.
I think he's the only one still alive, right? I believe that's the only brother that's alive.
That you might be right about that.
Obviously the kid died first, and then the two other BGs died. I think Barry's still left. But I got to tell you, Barry has to have been like, I just got to imagine that the women were lined up like after every show, like 4,000 deep, because they weren't hitting on the other two ugly guys. You know what I'm saying? I just got to admit, I saw the women around me every time when I was.
Tell us how you.
Come on, bro. I mean, when you were a kid, and the
no,
came out,
girls were. Yeah.
All the women went after the one dude.
Obviously, Andy.
Oh no, yeah,
was
that's
on
all,
another.
Right. That was
you and me, of course, have the
yeah.
distinction of being at Andy Gibbs' last birthday party.
Yeah.
At Club Ovo.
Yep, that's right.
That was a crazy night.
Yep. Very crazy night. It is the 80s, of course. Anyway, so yeah, I would see a Bee Gees doc in a heartbeat, but I got to know about the Barry extracurricular activities, because those stories have to have been just wild. Telling you that is one of the dudes that probably had more women interested in him as an artist than almost anyone else in the history of time. Big old Dimelo. Belichick is 21-5 against rookie QBs. What do you think? 21-6. That's what I think. 21-6. How many times do the Dolphins win in New England on a week 17 when they need to get in for a bye week? They don't win there either, right? They did it last year with very little talent. So 21-6 against rookie QBs, because Tua's about to hand them a loss. Ask Andy Reid. Andy Reid said, "No, dude, I'm not going. No, I'm not punting. No. I just watched that kid drive down on us twice, put 14 points on our heads. You think I'm going to punt to him? No. We're going for it on fourth down. I'm keeping that kid on the sidelines." How many times has that happened with a Dolphin QB in the last 20 years? Try this. There. See that? Right there. You watching there? 0. No Dolphin QB has ever had any respect since Marino. What Andy Reid did this week, I was like, yeah, baby, we got our guy. That's our guy right there. The guy you fear, Andy. Because he feared him. That's what that was. That was fear from Andy Reid. Okay? Some say to fear the beard. Some say fear the deer. Fear Tua. Okay? That's what Andy Reid said. Andy Reid, no. You think I'm stupid? You think I'm a moron? You think I'm Adam Gase? And I'm just going to punt off and then have my defensive coordinator play zero coverage? No. That's not it. No, we got the best offense on the planet. We're going for it. I'm keeping that kid on the sidelines. That's what happened. So, 21-6. 786-322-1105. 786-322-1105. Let's see. Well, oh, yeah. Let's go with Flo. You're right.
Rolling right along. I know you'll continue.
Yeah, I will continue.
Left to your own devices, buddy.
Yeah, I will continue. All right, go ahead. Let's hear from Flo. He addressed the Meteors today. Let's see what the man has to say. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
So what is the hardest part of your job, 1 this week, 2 this year?
The media.
Did you cheat? Did you already know that?
Seriously.
Look, look, I love my job. So, I get an opportunity to work with a lot of great people within this organization.
obviously the players, our coaching staff, but obviously also our support staff. I think from operations with Scott Bolus to equipment with Joe Cimino to medical with Kyle Johnson and Troy, to our doctors, obviously Chris and Brandon and Marvin and personnel and Adam Ingroff and that group. So I don't think of any of it as look at every day as a challenge. I think in this league, but I try to embrace it and enjoy it, and I don't really think of it as the hardest things about. I would say the hardest part of my job is I don't get to spend as much time with my wife and kids as I would like to, but I also try to get as much time with them as possible, and it's the honest answer there.
Joe?
Yeah, the real honest answer is media. It's the hardest part.
I wanted to ask you if you think Gesicki has a chance to play again, but the media thing does interest me. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you think the role of the media is and all that?
Look, I mean, I think I have a lot of respect for everything you guys do. I think you guys are the what's the best way to say this? You give voice from our team to our fans, and I think that's very important. And I guess I'm busting chops a little bit with Armando, but I really have an appreciation for what you guys do. I know it's not easy. And I think you guys do a great job. So what was the other part of your question, Joe? Mike Gesicki. Look, he's working really hard. Obviously, it was a tough injury last week. So he's getting treatment. He's doing his rehab, and we'll see where it goes.
Adam?
Sorry, I keep missing the unmute button. I wanted to ask you about your time in New England, and I was curious, what was more beneficial for you there? Where did you learn more? On team building and leadership, or X's and O's? What part of that time you spent in New England was more formative for you?
I mean, I learned so much. I mean, I started in personnel. Scott Pioli hired me there as a scouting assistant. So those 4 years in personnel were very valuable. There was a lot of guys in that department who have gone on and, done well for themselves. John Robinson, Thomas Dimitroff, Matt Russell, Marvin Allen was on the staff there when I was there. Lionel Vital. So I learned a lot from that group. Then going into coaching, working on special teams with Brad Seeley, who's just recently retired. And Scott O'Brien, who retired a few years ago as well in the kicking game. Going over to offense, working with Bill O'Brien. Going over to defense, obviously working with Bill, Matt Patricia, obviously Josh Boyer, Pat Graham. A lot of really good coaches on both sides of the ball. I would say, one of the guys who I learned, as much about coaching as anyone is Dante Scarnecchia. I know he's the O-line coach over there, but just the relationships he built with players and, how demanding he was. I think I tried to take a lot of, what he did because, he had a lot of success. And then just, team building and being around a lot of, very good players and very good coaches. And had some great experiences there.
Omar?
I know you're fond of going down memory lane, being sarcastic here, but I wanted to ask you, when you were on the scouting side of things, the time you spent with Scott, what made you want to go into coaching, or was that always the intent? And what did you learn and take from the scouting
Looks
side?
like everybody's doing pieces. That's questions for pieces.
I started wanting to be in personnel. And then I just wanted to make more of an impact on I felt like I could have a little bit more impact on, the game. So that was the reasoning, behind trying to get into coaching. I felt like I could build relationships with players, and it's harder to do that on the personnel side. You just don't have as much interaction with them. So I just want to make more of an impact, and I'm not saying that there isn't an impact on the personnel side. There's just more interaction on the coaching side.
Cam?
Hey, good morning, Flo. It's getting towards the end of the year. You guys have had some success. I'm curious what your perspective is if you get questions from your assistants about wanting to interview for different jobs for different teams as we get towards the off season, whether it be coordinator or head coach or even in the personnel department. What's your view on that and how you handle those situations?
I mean, I think, if those opportunities present themselves, I think they should go for it. If it's something that they're interested in, and I'll help them any way I can. I've been on a few interviews and, can offer some advice. But we've got a lot of qualified, people on the staff, so that wouldn't shock me at all. And I would be, I would be encouraging. And look, we all have goals, and I'm not in the business of stopping people from getting the things they want. Players, coaches, that's part of the reason why they're here. But another part of the reason why they're here is because they're team first, and I think people see that. Well, hopefully people see that, and I would say that's part of the reason why, if someone were to want to interview our guys, that'd be part of it. So, and look, that's part of this business. Somebody comes calling for one of you guys, it'd be the same thing. You'd hope that your boss would be encouraging and be helpful in that instance. I would think. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. Maybe.
Ruthie?
So I wanted to ask you, what makes Julian Edelman so dangerous, and how does the game change when he's on the field?
Julian is smart, instinctive, tough, good hands, good, run after catch, understands the game offensively and in the kicking game, and he's got a few defensive snaps under his belt too. So he's a very good player, and I think just his toughness, his competitiveness. I mean, you feel that on the field.
Adam?
How encouraged were you yesterday that you were able to get Devontae and Jakeem, and I think Flowers was back, and Van Noy and Roberts? A lot of these guys have been dealing with something. Were able to practice yesterday. How encouraged were you by how they came through it?
I was encouraged. It was good to see all those guys out there working to get back as soon as they can. But encouraged, but not surprised. I mean, I think we got a lot of guys who want to be out there, who want to be with their teammates, who want to help this team as best they can. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we still got a few days before kickoff. And hopefully we get all those guys.
Final question, Safid.
How you doing, Flo? I wanted to ask about, your defense is obviously from the same family of defenses as the Patriots scheme. How does that help Tua, and what are some things that he needs to do to kind of fine tune his preparation for that defense on Sunday?
I think just go through his normal routine and preparation. Watching the film, doing a good job in meetings, doing a good job in walkthrough, doing a good job in practice, learning over the course of the week, getting, more familiar with the things that they do. And just try to execute. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. And it's not just Tua. It's the O-line, the backs, the receivers, the tight ends. You got to execute defensively. You got to execute in the kicking game. Try to put a total team effort together.
There you go. That's the head coach. I will say this: there wasn't really much there, but I'll when they asked about the New England defense and how, obviously it influences what he does and how it would benefit Tua, I was thinking about this. I would imagine that the meeting on Tuesday between Tua and the head coach was a little bit longer than normal. I would imagine that Flo was probably warning him about all kinds of things that he could possibly see from Belichick, because obviously he was with Belichick for a lot of years. So the way they run their offense, I'm sure he's telling him these are the ways that he's probably going to attack you. So be alert on all of that. And for the one gentleman that was asking me about, do you think that the rookie quarterback will do well against Belichick, because Belichick has a great record against rookie quarterbacks? And I expect Miami to win, so I expect Tua to win. Well, one of the advantages I believe Tua will have is Brian Flores, because he's got a coach that knows the opposing coach better than anybody else. And because he's a defensive coach, he knows exactly how Belichick thinks and what he's going to do. I think that's why you look, and he was able to take advantage of Flo at the beginning of last year when his team wasn't set, at the beginning of this year after you added all your draft picks, added all your free agents, and you never had a training camp and didn't have a real offseason, so your team was not that prepared. By the time the season rolls on, it seems, at least for the first 2 years, is all I can go by, that New England is not progressing anymore, whereas the Dolphins are. And so I think that at this point, Flo has a better feel for his team and exactly what they can and can't do, so he can better prepare his team for the matchup the second go-around against the Patriots. And you would figure that Belichick has the advantage in that second go-around. Last year, Flo proved, and even on the road, that he was able to get it done, because this year it's here in Hard Rock. Last year it was there in New England, and they got it done. So that's the one thing that I think could benefit Tua, is that he has a head coach that knows the opposing coach pretty well. And so maybe Tua will be able to anticipate some of the things that could be coming at him. There you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, we're wrapping it up here on the show. We thank all of you out there, as always, for watching, for downloading, supporting our show, our amazing sponsors. Make sure you mention our name, whether you go to VSS West Pines, you go to Canesware, you come out here at Toyota of Hollywood. Tomorrow we'll be at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines, so come on out and join us. We'll be out there right around the same time, right around 2:45, 3 o'clock. We'll be on, I would imagine, by then tomorrow. So thank you all out there. As always, Bill, as always, great work by you. We will see all of you tomorrow. Be good out there. Much love. Be safe. Oh, and Leon Fresco, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Enjoy the football tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe, please.
Thank you.